Hello. Sorry. I was really ready, wasn't I? Hello, hello. Good to see you all. Unusual for me to be on at night. I know. Hi, Sue. Allie. Hi, Allie. I haven't seen you in a while. Hi, Cindy. Lori. Laura. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Denise. Hey, Sandy. Another Lori. Oh, no, same Lori. Sorry, Lori. Hi, Sue. Hey, Jan. Basmala Queen. I don't recognize your name. Hi, Ellie. You missed me? You missed me? So what is your name? Basmala Queen. Hi, Penelope. Susan. Welcome, Susan. Yeah. Hair salon. Can you tell? Look at that. My hair salon opens on Monday, and I'm supposed to get my hair done on Monday. Thank the good Lord above. I really thought about not putting my face on camera tonight. But there you go. Oh boy. I may just call you Queen, because I'm not sure I can say that name either. Where are you from? Hi, Joni. You're going to do something constructive? I hear you. Boy, do I hear you. Okay, now let me tell you. See the door back here is open? That means that the cats are out here with me. That could be trouble, so I may have to stop and go. I may have to stop and put them behind the locked door. Hi, Beth. You love me like I am. It's a good thing, isn't it? Hi, Miffy. Hello. Seen some names that I don't generally see. Hi, Arlene. Hi, Lori Lou. I know, it's an unusual time for me to be on. But I was going to do something, and I thought I might as well just turn on the camera and we'll do it together. So, yeah. So that's what we're going to do. Unless I have to stop and put the cats away. All right. Your cat, Oliver's been crazy today. My cats have been pretty good today, but as soon as I start talking, you know, if I'm recording or doing something or doing a stream, then they're like, oh, she's talking to us. She's talking to us. So what I'm going to do, hi, Ian. I know, it's not Friday. I didn't even change it in my description box, so it says, welcome to Drama Free Friday. So, oh, well. It just does. It's been a busy day. Long day. Busy day. So I decided that I needed to just do something that was mindless. You know what I mean? Mindless. So what I have is, in case you weren't here on Friday, we did a little book. Stuff together here. We did a little book that is it for an art journal? Oh, and Muppets up here too. So we have everybody but Clausman up here in the studio. Clausman and Race are not here. But we have Muppet and both cats. Anywho. So what we did last Drama Free Friday, is I was showing a way to make just a simple little book. It is not fancy. It is not perfect. This is the binding edge over here. Can you see? It's not perfect. but that's going to go away. That's going to be hidden. It's not perfect. If it's not perfect on one edge, it's not perfect on the other edge. It's just it's a glued together book. I know, Ian, it does all blend together, doesn't it? It definitely does. Oh, Miffy's usually asleep. Is it Miffy? That's what it looks like. You're usually asleep when I'm on. You must be in Australia. Hi, Mary. What's happening? Not much. Well, you know, everybody needs a hair appointment. Isn't that the truth? Congratulations, Jan. That's great. Good for you. So, yes, this is just a little handmade book. It is made out of watercolor paper. The sheets are cut in half, and then each half is folded in half, and then the pages are glued together. So, like this was one, this is one folded, half of a folded page of watercolor paper, inexpensive watercolor paper. And then this was the other half of the sheet, right here, folded in half. And then back to back, they're glued together. And I just glued them together with glue stick. And that's what I did all the way through. And what I'm going to do with this is make a little journal. It's based on... What do you want, Mup? What do you want? Come here. Give me a minute. Come here and say hello to everybody. Yeah, come here. Sorry about all the noise here. Come here, Mutt. Come here. You need to say hello to the world. Oh, that's a very close shot. That's a very close shot of Miss Muppet. She's our cover girl. Handheld camera work is not my specialty. Not my specialty. Can you say hello? Are you saying hello to everybody? Yeah, there she is, and her pretty eyes and her pretty face. And it's very close up. Okay. You can go now. All right, go. That's Muppet. Put my camera back. I'm telling you, my entire creative space is a house of cards. Everybody's talking about how bored they are, and I'm like, if I could just clean my house, it would be so good. Anyway, she is cute, isn't she? That's our Muppet. I do not have a bird. I don't have a bird. Okay, I don't know how long I'm going to last tonight because I'm pretty tired, but I would like to get this done. And also I wanted to show you what I was planning to do with this. And so it would be dry by the time that the stream rolls around on Friday in case we decide we want to work on this. Okay? All right, so this journal is my book of words I love. And because this journal the paper is in terrible shape, I decided I would make another small one, and so that's what I'm going to do. So it's sort of like an alphabet book, but it's only words that I like. And so that's what we're working on. Okay, I decided we would do, that doesn't have anything to do with this journal. So I decided we'd do one that was a lot smaller, and it would be a good thing for people to do and focus on if they wanted to. And I noticed on Instagram that there were several people that were doing this. Hello, Beth. Hi, Erin. So Ian made a book and glued the spine with silicone rubber to reinforce it like the stuff for bathroom ceiling. Oh, that's a good idea, too. Sure. Good idea. So what I'm doing is I've made the book, put the little book together. Chance, shut up. Yeah. That is the Siamese named Chance, one of the sponsors who usually lets me stream, but apparently tonight he's not going to let me. So what I've done is I have gone through this as I was putting it together and labeled what was going to do what. So this is going to glue to the cover, and the camera's not going to like this for right now. Okay, I'll be back here in a second. He's not going to let me stream, so I'm going to have to put him in his room. Come here. Come here. You're too noisy. You're just too noisy. Too loud. Too loud. There you go. Yeah. Now he's going to scream until I put Charlie in there. Charlie's across the room, sitting in a chair, being quiet. So Chance is going to scream now. But at least the door's closed. Anyway, hey Dar. You love to hear the kitties talk. Well, his voice is not exactly one of those that is very melodious, to be sure. Let's see. Hey, Robin. I know, night stream. Unusual, isn't it? I'm having a little tea. Now my phone's singing to me. Craziness going on around here. So anyway, I labeled the pages as to what was going to go where. So this is going to glue to the cover when I get ready to do that. This is going to be my introduction purpose page. And then I started going through and I just labeled it. So I have letter A, letter B, and so forth all the way through, just to make sure. I'm sorry about it being blurry from time to time. And up to Z. My phone is being obnoxious. Okay, maybe I got it to shut off this time. And then this part's going to glue to the back cover. Okay, so that's what we've got going on. So what I want to do is just put some color on the pages. So that's what I'm going to do, just for no earthly purpose other than just to put some color on it, just so it's not a white page. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I just have some little bitty cups. They're just little tiny plastic cups, actually. And I'm going to put some art paste. It's Elmer's art paste. And I use this when I'm doing paste paper. See, now he's got his nose stuck up against the door frame, complaining. So this is what I'm going to use, is Elmer's art paste. So this says Elmer's up here. So it's art paste and paper mache art paste. So that's what I'm going to use. You can also use, this just gives some thickness to the paint. That's what this does. Okay, it gives some thickness to the paint. And it also makes the paint more transparent. And what else? It's just going to make a nice base for the pages. If you have starch, like liquid starch, you can use that. If you have wallpaper, like pre-mixed wallpaper paste, or you can use the powder, doesn't matter. And so I'm going to put just maybe, I'm going to fill about half of these cups with the art paste, halfway up, give or take a little bit. Art paste is really inexpensive. It's like $3 or $4 for a box, and a box of it like this is a box. It's a box like so. It's a 2-ounce box, and that will make a gallon of art paste, and it goes a long way. So I've just put some art paste in there, and I'm going to mix up some colors. And you can use whatever colors you want to use, okay? Any kind of paint, any whatever. So I'm going to use, this is some Dina Wakley media paint. And this color is eggplant. So the first thing I'm going to do is just get my paints prepared. And I don't want them to be very heavily pigmented. I just want them to, and this is an artist, more of an artist quality paint, so it's pretty heavily pigmented. So I'm just going to mix these up. Hi Donna. Yes, you hear a cat in the background. That would be Chance. I had to put him behind the door because he was being obnoxious. Because he saw me, heard me talking, and he thinks if I'm talking, I must be talking to him, you know. Couldn't be talking to anybody else. Heaven forbid. The trick to this is not to mix up too much paint, and I can already tell you I've mixed up way too much, but, you know, I'll use it on something else. It makes it very thin, but it makes the paint transparent, more like a glaze. And I'm thinning it out. My intention is to thin it out quite a lot, so it's not, so there's color, but it's not a lot of color. Okay, so let's see what other colors I want here. This is some lime. Yeah, it's right. He's hollering at Charlie. Charlie's asleep on the chair, and he's not paying any attention whatsoever. In fact, he's probably enjoying having the chair to himself. Because usually the chair is not big enough for the two of them. And Chance will get up there. Charlie is really, the chair's only big enough for one of them. And Chance will get up there and just he'll lay right on top of Charlie is what he does. He lays right on top of him. All right, these tube paints are not going to mix up quite as easily as I had hoped. These are a lot, I was hoping I could use some of these tube paints to use them up, but instead, I'm going to just have to put some liquid paints in with them because they are too chunky, too coagulated in the tubes. If you start out with a little bit of paste, art paste, with the pigment and get it mashed up to start with, then it works better, but I don't think I want to take the time to do that, so I'm just going to keep mixing here. Hey Judy. Yeah, we had storms today, late this afternoon. Hi Becky. They are poor little waifs, the poor little things. The poor little things. Teresa had a blizzard. Good gracious. Oh, I feel sorry for you, Teresa. I feel sorry for you. All right, this is a newer tube of this, so this is creamier. This color is called Blushing. So it should mix up a little quicker. Let's see. Most any acrylic paint will mix with this stuff. looks like I'm going to have to stick a little bit of regular paint with it. You want to see something really pathetic? Here, I'll show you. I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't. I don't think you can see it, but if you follow my finger down to the floor right there, that's a cat tail sticking out under the door. That's how pathetic this cat is. That's how pathetic he is. That is how pathetic. He's turned around and stuck his tail out under the door. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Dana. All right, so I'm going to put just a little bit of craft paint in with this. I don't really much care what the colors are. I'm just trying to get something mixed up so I can put something on the pages. Okay, I guess I could wipe that off, huh? And let's see. And we'll put some sea breeze in the other one. Hey, Barbara. Drama-free Tuesday. We hope so. We hope so. It's all right. I can't talk. You can't spell. It's all good. No, it really doesn't. The art paste retards the drying of the acrylic paint by quite some little bit. Okay, I'm very scientific about how I mix this up. I mix it up till I think it looks okay. Normally I mix the stuff up in a in an ice cube tray. That's what I normally mix in. I don't really know why I opted to do it this way, to tell you the truth. It's what I had out the other day, and so I guess that's why I did this tonight. Anyway, if I get tired of using these colors, I have some more cups, so I'll mix up some more colors. Okay. The other thing I want to do is I want to prepare ahead of time some pieces of parchment paper that are a little bit bigger than my pages in my book. I'm sorry, what size are the pages? The tablet was 9 by 12, and I cut that in half. So it became 6 by, what? 6, oh goodness. So I cut the pages in half, and they became 9 across. Okay, 9 across by 6 inches high. Then I folded that in half. So that made each page 4.5 by 6. Okay, give or take. Okay, so what I'm after here is to have pages or pieces of parchment paper that are a little bit bigger than my actual pages. So that's what I'm just going to quickly cut some of these down, because if they're too big, they get unwieldy and hard to handle. So as I started to say a little bit ago, I don't know if I finished my thought. I'm sorry about all the paper rustling, but that's the way it's going to be here. I don't know if I should have streamed or not. My thought process is lacking. Gosh, don't know what I was going to say. That's bad. Anyway, it'll come back to me, or else we'll go, well, that wasn't important. So all I'm doing is cutting some of these. If you get the parchment paper too big, it becomes just too unwieldy as you're trying to do this process. And I think this is going to work, but when I do this, I normally do it like in an altered book instead of one that I have glued together. So this could go really well, or it could go horribly wrong. So we'll find out. We will find out. So I hope you all are doing well. I had to go to the post office today and mail off a bunch of stuff. All right, are you going to be... Yeah, exactly. Crinkling paper. ASMR. Yeah. I think we'll only get one out of this. All right, I've got enough to start with. And then if we have to do some more, I'll do some more. Oh, so if you have liquid starch, you can use that. I think that's where I was before I jumped the track. If you have liquid starch, you can use it instead of the art paste. Or you can use wallpaper, like a pre-mixed wallpaper, or you can use a wallpaper, a powdered wallpaper. You know, just the wheat paste, wallpaper paste, you can use that. There's a variety of things that you can use to do this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the back, and I have, here's my colors. They look like Easter eggs, don't they? So I'm just going to get some paste that's mixed with paint, and I'm going to just put it on here for a chance, I tell you. And you can't care about how this works. You can't care about it because this is all going to get covered up anyway. And I apologize for the whining cat in the background. What I'm going to try to do is not get too much paint on here. I usually use this for altered books. This is what I started to say. I'm telling you, I have jumped the track several times here tonight. So I'm just going to... It doesn't help anything at all to have a whining cat in the background. So I've got the paste and paint mixture on both. I'm starting at the back of the book, and then I'm just going to put a piece of parchment paper in there in between. And then I'm going to go to the next page. So we're going to see if this holds up. If my glue stick will hold up. And I'm probably going to slop paint from one page to another, and the colors are probably going to get mixed up, and that's just, you know, kind of how it's going to be. Can't worry about it. So how are you guys holding up today? Are you doing okay? Hello, Crafty Beginnings. Persistent. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to put Chance in there with him. Or Charlie. Otherwise, he's going to drive me bananas. So this is just how I'm going to get some color on these pages. I'm trying not to get them too overly saturated with moisture. We'll see how successful I am at that. And then I'm going to put in another piece of parchment. And as you can see, it's kind of going to stick. And that's okay. That's what I'm after, because what I want it to do is I want it to create some texture just by using my parchment paper. See what it's going to do? See this? That's what I'm after. Okay, so let me put the other cat in there so that they'll at least whine to each other. Come here, man. You got to go in there with me, buddy. Yes, I know. It's just not fair, is it? Yeah, it's not fair. Yeah. All right, go in there. Go on. Go on. All right. Okay, cat wrangling is done for the moment. So I'm just going to keep doing this, and then every so often I'll take a break and look at the chat. But you get all kinds of interesting things that happen when you do this. Interesting textures, and you know, because the paints get slopped from one to the other, you get new colors like that. You know, you get green and so forth. So we'll see how well this is going to go. So I'm just going to put in a new parchment paper, put in a new, turn that over. Hi, Deb. I know, it's Drama-Free Friday on Tuesday. Yeah, aren't you glad? Okay, hi Tori. Cracker bananas, no kidding. I'm just scrolling back through the chat here for a second. Hi Andrea. Creative Space, hello Danielle. Hi Kathy. Just scrolling back through the chat for a minute. Oh, Judy got offered a second job. Good for you. Congratulations. That's wonderful. We all wear paint well, don't you think? No, the parchment's not going to be used. The parchment is just there to lend texture and protect the next page, sort of. Okay, so let's go again. And I'll go for a ways, and then I'll probably get tired of these colors, and I'll probably have to mix up some more paints. But it really doesn't matter, because most of this will get covered up. I'm just after something on the page so that when I begin the process of actually adding stuff on the page, I don't have to cover every little teensy-tiny bit of the space, because I've already got, you know, at least a little something on it. So after I do a bunch of these pages, then I'll show you a book where I've done this. Looks like the glue stick is going to hold together. That's good. That's good news, because honestly I wasn't really sure how the glue stick was going to work with all of this. Okay, so spinning my colors. I know, Danielle, look at me go. It must be some kind of miracle or something, because my brain is about used up today. I was editing video earlier today and getting something ready to go up on the website and at How to Get Creative, and so I was doing all that and had to go to the post office, and my regular post office is closed because it's inside the mall. And the mall is closed right now. And so it was all... I'm going to a facility I'm not normally used to going to, so I don't know any of the clerks there. Our clerks is probably postal clerk. Is that what they are? Postal worker? I don't know. Whatever it is. Whatever they are called. And we're having to send Claus Man's computer back to be repaired because out of all the Apple products we have ever owned, and that is 1.5 tons, his computer had a problem with the screen. And of course it was out of warranty. And so that's a whole other saga. But anyway, we're sending it in to have it fixed. So the box arrived today, and so that meant you had to follow the directions so you could send it in. Fortunately, their directions were very good. I followed their directions as absolutely best I could. And then we had to take that, and much to my amazement, FedEx was open. I mean, I'm just now I'm just shocked at anything that is open, you know what I mean? And so we got that taken care of. Tell you. You go, oh, you mean that's open? Wow. It's a surprise, man. It is a surprise. Yes, I'm going to have to mix up other colors. I can only do 5 colors just so long. I'm going to go, nope, got to have more than that. So this, in case you just came in, this is a mixture of art paste, and there's a little bit of Dina Wakley paint, and a little bit of craft paint. And the art paste is Elmer's art paste. And it's probably not quite a quarter of paint, probably considerably less than a quarter of the paint by volume, and 3/4 anyway or more of the art paste. I was trying to use the tube paint because my tube paint I've had it a long time, and any paint goes bad after a while, and this has gotten very chunky, so I thought, oh well, I'll use it up, but I wasn't patient enough to do what you got to do to get the chunks out of it with the art paste, so I switched to craft paint. Some of this is the Wakley paint that's in the bottles, and I don't know if it's a different consistency or just newer, but this seems like it's a lot thinner consistency. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just rambling. Just rambling, people. If you came here for anything that was earth-shattering, it isn't going to happen tonight. It is not going to happen tonight. Have they? They've been going nonstop there. I really didn't know whether they were up and running, especially like where you could take stuff in, take packages in. So anyway, they were open. So we got that taken care of. And so it's on its way to Parts Unknown, and hopefully they will get that sorted out with no additional charges. Because if I had a young child, they'd probably want my young child in addition to the fee that they charge. That's probably true. Okay, so that should fit there. All right, let me finish these two, then I'm going to have to cut some more papers. But you really need to use parchment paper when you do this, because the parchment paper doesn't stick to the paint, as I recall. It's been a while since I've done this. Maybe it will stick. I don't know. Hope not. And if I wreck the entire book, I'll start over, you know? I'm not married to the result here. Okay, so that's where I'm going to be. So I got all the way up to P. I got almost halfway, not quite. Elemento P. So this is what it's going to do as this dries. It makes a print in the paint. So some of them, like this is the other side of that. So there's a little bit of texture there, but I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Yeah, you can see it if I lift it up. I'll let you look at it. See that? So it makes some interesting texture, and here's the other one. But that comes from the parchment paper. Okay? All right. So let me show you a book. So this is a book that I started a long time. I mean, we're talking almost 20 years ago I started this book. You would think that I would have this done, but nope. But everything in here is done the same way. So I use the paint, acrylic paint, mixed with the art paste with parchment paper in between. And sometimes you get a print that's really interesting. Is that who we called Roesta? Aunt Beck? Or who I knew as Roesta? Hi, Nancy. Well, that's too bad. I didn't know that. I didn't even, had she been ill? So anyway, it makes some interesting, it makes for interesting textures and patterns and stuff like that. So anyway, that's what I'm doing there. So now what I need is some more yeah, plastic wrap. You can do that, sure. And I'm just using a bunch of parchment paper scraps that I have laying around for other things, but it's just really handy if you have them. Use your head, Barb. Use your head. I don't even know what I started to say. Doesn't matter. Well, thank you for telling us, Aunt Beck. So anyway, I'm just cutting up parchment paper that I had used for other stuff. So if you'll just bear with me a minute. I thought I might get all this done ahead of time, but I was just busy with other stuff today. I'm sure everybody else was busy with other stuff today too. So what have you guys been doing? Tell me what you're doing. The backing off fusible web. Sure. Sure. I just like the parchment paper, so that's what I use all the time. But if you don't have access to it or can't find it, you do want something that's non-stick. Like, see, this has got paint and stuff on it. That's going to stick to the paper. So I got to find pieces that are relatively gunk-free. You did a mandala, Cindy? Good for you. Hi, Linda McAllister. Oh, Nancy took the trash out. There you go. Hey, Nancy. 2 thumbs up for you. 2 thumbs up. Hi, Sheila. Making mandalas. Good for you. Good for you. How many of you in the audience are making mandalas? Yeah, just so things do tend to go through the centers of journals. That's for sure. And you either have to be okay with that, or you have to take measures to, stop that from happening. Nancy is making mandalas. That's good. That's good. She saw the outside world. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. All right, let's do a few more pages here. And I think we'll mix up a few more colors before we do some more pages. How's that? I mean, this paint goes a long ways, people. It goes a long way. So when you mix this up, you try not to mix too much, but every time I will mix up too much. It's the nature of the beast. But if you have more than you wanted to have, then you can make some paste papers with whatever's left over. So that's always good. And if you have any of that Glad press and seal, you can sometimes save these paste paints a little bit if you put the press and seal on the top of the cups, press it around the tops of the cups. Sometimes you can do that and actually hold them for a day or so. Okay, let me get some colors here. Okay, my paint cart is functioning as a table at the moment, so it has everything stacked on top of my bottles of paint. Sad but true. Now you know the rest of the story. Now you know the rest of the story. It probably would work, Judy. She asked if the paint, old film containers would hold the paint. It'll hold it for a while. It's like anything. Acrylic paint's eventually going to dry. But it'll hold it for a while, I would think. Hello, Shirley. Oh, you did the 9-point mandala? Good for you. Did you have fun? Did you enjoy it? Debbie is the one that did that. Feels fab. Good. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Jan. Scorching yellow. That wasn't what I thought I was putting in there. Oh well. That's what went in. Scorching yellow. Maybe the best color ever, and I won't be able to repeat it. You're late. Nobody's late. I'm not doing anything of any value, believe me. I'm not doing anything of any value. Just putting some paint on some pages just to show you how I was going to prep these pages with a little bit of color on them, most of which will get covered up. Mostly when I mix up these paste paints like this, I'm looking for texture. This is probably going to be the same color as this one. Let's see. Nope, it's not quite. That's good. Yes, Tuesday's the new Friday. It's true. And this is cranberry wine. So I go by what the thickness of these paints ends up to be rather than anything else. When I'm mixing them up. Good enough, good enough. Okay, let's use some of this. This color is Sedona. Bald Arby. I always liked Paul Harvey. And that is the rest of the story. Okay, good enough. I think we can move on. Okay, so we have some additional colors that we can mess around with. And I got some additional papers. And let me cut up one more piece of parchment paper here that was on the floor, if you can imagine that. And I'm just quickly cutting up a few more pieces of parchment. Okay, we're ready. So let's take a look at how these pages are progressing here. And one of the things that's nice to do is that as the paper starts drying, then take out the wet paper and put in a dry one, like this. That's funny. Just put in a dry paper. Oh, that got a good print. Yeah, look at this one. Look how cool that dried. It's too bad I'm going to cover up most of it. That's okay. But the papers will be, or the pages will be a little vulnerable until they get thoroughly dried again. Once they get thoroughly dry, then, oh, that's another good one. That's another good one. So is that. Well, that's impressive. Once the pages get dry, everything will, you know, become rigid again. Well, more or less. You know, ooh, that's a good one. It's kind of like jelly plate printing. It's like, oh, that's good. Oh, I like it. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's good. It helps when you're doing this in a book to have just a whole bunch of these parchment paper inserts ready to go. Helps a lot, because then you can do exactly this, which is change out the papers, and then when you put the new dry paper in between, it does help to speed the drying along a little bit more. Yeah, that one, the glue stick's coming apart a little bit. Some of these I'm sure I will have to do a little repair work on. Don't know that it'll do us any good to do anything while it's wet, but we'll stick some glue in there anyway. It was, Sandy, yes, it was. They look like tree bark, don't they? It does look like wood grain. It's going the wrong direction, but, you know, well, you know. It's all relative as to whether it's the wrong direction or the right direction, don't you think? Okay, so we're back here. Now these papers that I just took out, these are damp, so it's not a good idea to reuse these right away, but we're probably going to reuse them right away. And they're going to transfer color from what's on them and stuff like that, and then that's just, it's okay. You can feel the texture a little bit, but not a whole lot. Okie doke. So I'm just gonna get some of these colors. Maybe if I put this up here. You'll get to see a little bit. I'd rather that you saw the book than that you would see the containers of paste paint. Some of these are chunky monkeys, man. Yeah, some of these are chunky monkeys. Ooh, look at that. Ooh. Well, if you smear it out, if you smear out the chunkies in the paint, it'll be, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stack of very damp papers here. I'm going to flip them over and I'm going to work from the bottom, because theoretically the bottom ones are a little drier than the top ones. Okay, so let's use this color. What are you looking for, Blushing Angel Sandy? Is there something I can help you with? Maybe. Not saying I can. I didn't see what you were looking for. Oh, the Elmer's Art Paste. Yeah. Amazon is where normally I get it. You had no luck on Amazon? Look on Blix. Look on Blix website, or Jerry's Artorama, or Cheap Joe's. Any of those I would think would have it. but Amazon is where I usually get it. Now, I usually buy it 3 or 4 boxes at a time, too, so. Because if I go somewhere to teach a class, then we'll use quite a bit of it during the class. So I almost always start with a fresh gallon of art paste when I go someplace to do a class. Cement, that's not it. Cement is not it. Just saying. Cement is not it. The art paste keeps a very long time. So, I mean, this particular container that I have, I think I mixed up in 2015. Ooh, lovely color. Ooh, goodness. She says facetiously. And when you mix it up, be sure that you gradually mix the powder into the water, and you want to do it in a separate container. Don't make the mistake of chucking the box of Elmer's art paste forcing it down into the gallon and you want to use distilled water. Don't put that box of paste down in there, because it will not mix up. It just will make a plug at the top of the bottle of water. That is no good. So you want to put it in a different, like in a bowl, and use a whisk. So put the water in the bowl and start gradually whisking the art paste into it. And then gradually add water, add paste, add water till it's all together. And be sure you follow the instructions, because they'll tell you that you're supposed to let it sit for, I don't know, I usually let it sit overnight. And then use it. But I ruined an entire gallon of water and an entire box of paste by screwing that up. Yep, that can happen. I have done it. If it can be done, I think I've done it. I do think I've done it. Well, we're over halfway done with the book here. I do love making paste papers, though, I have to say. And I've done it with the starch, which is hard to find, I believe. Starch, I've done it with wallpaper, paste, but my preference is the art paste. I like it by far the best. Personal preference. You might like something better or different than I do. That is the beauty of what makes the world go around. We all get to like things that are different. For every one way there is to do something, there's 100 other ways to do it as well. Very seldom do you run into a thing where it's like, nope, you can only do it this way. There's a few things like that, but not too many. Yes, you can make a half a box. You can make a half a box. In fact, when I very first was doing the art paste papers and such, I really was short on cash, and I split a box with somebody. So, I can definitely do that. When you are short enough on cash that a $4 box of paste something you got to split with somebody, you're short on cash. But this is going to take a while to dry. Even though it's pretty dry, those pages that we started with, and they're holding their texture and everything, those are getting fairly dry. But the moisture really penetrates the paper, so you have to make sure that you let it dry. Yeah, liquid starch is really hard to find here. Liquid starch works really well. The wallpaper paste has warnings on it, and the warnings come from the fact that they put some kind of insecticide or something in the paste, so because they're trying to detract bugs from getting in and eating the wallpaper, I believe. But it does work. Like I said, the art paste is what I prefer, just because it's you can mix it up, and for me it lasts for years. I don't know if it does for everybody else or not, but it does for me. It lasts for literally for years. Okay. You didn't like the liquid starch? Or what are you yucking, Becky? Did I say something yucky? What did I say? The insecticide? Yeah. But I think that's why the warning is on the wallpaper paste, I believe. I could be wrong. Okay, we've gone from Z to H, so we're making progress here. We're ready to turn the page and go to G. And then probably what I'm going to do is stop, and when I use these up, I'm going to stop and cut some more papers up. So I'll have a new lot of papers to use. Am I using the same? No, maybe I was using the same color I just used. I'm telling you, short attention span here tonight. So many people are out walking their dogs, man. Right now, people are walking their dogs. This has been a good situation for dogs. They're getting more walks and more attention than they've gotten in a long time. Claus Man was out walking with Muppet today. Of course, she likes to go walking. She's a walking dog. When we first got her, she was about 8 months old and had been returned to the rescue a couple of times. And she and I walked and walked and walked. We walked anywhere from 3 to 5 miles at least once. Sometimes we walked twice a day when we first got her, to keep her worn out, because she was a mess. Well, you know, understandably so. She didn't know where she was, who she belonged to. And the first thing she did when we brought her home, the first 2 nights, she had diarrhea in her crate. I'm like, bless her heart. Fortunately, she was in the crate. That was a good thing. Poor little girl. But walking really helped her get acquainted with her neighborhood, and helped her get acquainted with where she belonged and everything. Okay. I'm going to set this on here just because it's got some weight to it. That's the only reason. Watch me get art paste on it. This thing has never even punched a hole ever in its life. Alright, I got to get some more parchment paper. This is going to make some noise, so I'm going to mute for a minute. Okay. Hi, Mary. Thank you, Becky, for answering the question. I obviously wasn't paying attention. Okay, so we're going to move the book off here for a minute. Just move it over. All right, by any chance, can I fold this in fourths? Nope. Okay, so we're probably going to get 3 papers out of each section. So 1 second while I cut some more papers. Okay, that's good. Okay, we're good. Yeah, you just use whatever you have. That's the thing, that for something like this, that was the whole point of this project, was to use what you had and just kind of enjoy the process of giving yourself a more positive mindset. Sometimes you got to fake it till you make it. You know the old saying. If you're not feeling very positive, then you just got to kind of fake it as you go. Yeah, this watercolor paper I get at Michael's. It's 90-pound paper, and oftentimes you can find it. You can find it very inexpensively. You got to catch it on a sale, but they run those sales very often. Of course, Michael's is not open right now, so this whole situation. Sorry about all the paper wrestling. This whole situation that the world is dealing with is going to probably turn each and every one of us into worse hoarders than we are. Because it's like, oh no, it might happen again. It might happen again, so I got to have more stuff. It's like, we need to resist that temptation. We need to. Yeah, I could do curbside stuff if I needed to, but man, buying art supplies or craft supplies for me is kind of like buying fabric. I want to touch them. I want to see them. Kind of like I don't trust somebody else to do it for me, you know? Do I have trust issues? Perhaps. Perhaps I have trust issues. You think? Okay, so we got some more papers cut. It's really handy if you have a bunch of these already cut. All right, let's go back to... Thank you for letting me use you as a weight. I promise I'll let you do your real job someday and punch holes for me. Okay, let's go back here. It looks like it's doing fairly well. That's good. This whole thing has been a big experiment. We're up to letter E. Let's finish the rest of it, and then we'll go back and look at the other pages again. All right, what color did we use last? Yellow and pink. Okay, let's use this dark, whatever color this is. I don't know what color it is. Whatever color it is, I like it. I do. I like it. So we're up to letter E. We're working backwards in the alphabet. Whoops. Yeah, that's right. Maybe we'll do purple on this one. So true, Miss Becky. So true. It's probably why we rescue animals too, huh? But I tell you what, that little Muppet, she was a trooper when she came to live here. She has been a wonderful dog. She is like 10 years old now. She is a great companion. I have, in the morning, I have a meditation and prayer time to start my day out, and if I don't, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. And she almost every day comes up there. She somehow knows that that's what I'm going to do, and she'll come up there. Even if the door is shut, she'll come stand outside the door and wait for me. If I don't open the door, then she will just lay down outside the door, so she'll participate from the hallway. It's so funny. So funny. I do Reiki sessions for my husband, which are just it's energy work. And it's kind of like healing touch or that sort of thing. Anyway, doesn't matter. And she loves that too. So she will come in the room, or at least lay in the hallway so she's close by. She likes that energy stuff. It's like, oh yeah, this is my kind of thing. She likes it. It's so funny. Canson XL 9x12 bulk 100 sheet bulk pack for $25. That sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. Seems like these, I think there's 25 pieces in the, I don't know how many. I don't remember. I won't say because I don't remember. Could only be 15. I don't know. In the Artist Loft brand, or whatever brand it is from Michaels. I think it's Artist Loft. Seems like whatever it is, seems like it's like $5 or $6 usually, the way that I buy it. I'd never found anything that was any less expensive than that brand of paper, and I honestly like both the 90 pound and the 140 pound. Okay, we're up to A. Look at that, folks. We're up to A. And I have all kinds of paste paint left. Well, the cats quieted down after they got together. Those two cats are literally joined at the hip somehow. But when they're separated from each other, like if one of them has to go to the vet, like several years ago, we had to have Charlie, well, they each had to have a bunch of their teeth pulled. Charlie, let's see, was he first? No, Chance was first because he was sitting on my lap and all of a sudden spit out a tooth. And I was like, well, that's not right. that can't be right. And so I took him into the vet the next day because one of his other teeth was really loose. And I'm like, that is just not right. Took him into the vet and they had to put him under anesthetic and take a look around. And I went back to pick him up and they had a whole bag full of teeth. And they said, the vet said, would you like these? And I'm like, well, for what? You think the tooth fairy's going to come for cat teeth? I don't think so. You know? I'm like, I don't think the tooth fairy's coming for this. So anyway, when he was gone, Charlie about had a fit. And then, don't you know, a few years later, like maybe a year later, to be exact, Chance had to have Charlie had to go in and have the same thing done. Have all kinds of teeth pulled. Yeah, these are looking good. These are looking good. Oh, I'm happy with this. It is going to have to be put under weight so that everything will firm back up and the glue hopefully will reattach itself. But oh yes, I'm liking this. We'll see how it is when it dries out. Okay, we got to get back up here and change the papers from the first part. This one's pretty wet, so we're going to change this one. And so when Charlie was gone, I thought Chance was just going to have a conniption. Man, he was lonesome. Oh my goodness, he was lonely. Those guys, they are something. But see, what causes the texture is when the parchment paper gets damp. You see what it does? It wrinkles up. That's what causes all this great texture. Now, some other paper might do the same great thing. I don't know. However, parchment paper is what I've always used to do this. And because I know that I get a result that I'm happy with. So what I'll do is tonight I will put this under a book and with some weight on top of it, which I showed you what kind of weight I use. It's an old iron, like one of those irons that you'd heat up on the stove. So I'll put it under that for a while and then I'll come back later and I'll change out the papers again. So I'll let the papers that I'm taking out, I'll let those dry. Oh, this turned out pretty. Got some pretty colors, extra colors, bonus colors. But it helps if you just have a whole bunch of parchment paper pieces that you can do this with, or whatever kind of paper you were planning to use. If you don't have parchment paper, I mean, it might work with wax paper too. I don't know. I haven't tried it, but it might work fine with wax paper. And you don't have to do this at all. You can do something completely different. Isn't that pretty? Bye, Lori Lou. Thanks for coming. Isn't that pretty? I love that pattern. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Isn't it fun when you do something that you like? Not everything I do is something I like. Oh, you guys probably don't have that problem. I usually can make something out of it. Once in a while, I'll do something where it's like, nope, that is so bad. That is hitting file 13. There is no salvaging that thing. Doesn't happen very often to me, but because usually I can find a way around whatever the horrible mistake is, or the horrible outcome. Not really a mistake, just an outcome. Okay, I need to cut just a few more little pieces of parchment paper, so if you want to hang out just a minute, I will cut just the last ones of these. How many do I need? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So like 7 or 8. Okay, I'm going to mute again so you don't have to listen to ripping paper. Okay, so we're going to finish cutting these up and then change out the rest of these little papers, put it under weight, and we're going to be gone. We're going to be done and over with tonight. Have any of you been watching Clarity Stamps over in the UK? And watching her daily drawings? If you enjoy drawing and illustration kind of things, she's got a bunch of, she does a lot of pattern work, kind of like Zentangle sort of patterns and stuff. Good night, Debbie. If you haven't been watching her, I highly recommend that you do. Her name is Barbara Gray. She really is just such an interesting, she does such a beautiful thing. And the illustrations that she's been doing are absolutely gorgeous. And it's just a really good thing to watch. She's been doing something every morning for, I think this is her 5th week, going into her 5th week of doing this. I think she broadcasts live on Facebook, but then she puts it on YouTube also. Her company is Clarity Stamp. Okay, so we got some more papers cut, so let's change out the rest of these. But she's doing some beautiful illustrations. Oh, Mary, I'm glad that I can keep you company. There are a lot of people who have stepped up to do exactly that, to help pass the time for people. And it's good for me too, obviously, because I'm pretty much as stuck as anybody else. We're all stuck. We're all stuck. they were hit hard about 45 minutes ago. She's in Monkey Island. What part of Oklahoma was hit? She does have some. This morning, or the one I watched today, Barbara said she had told her children, she was trying to get them to clean up their rooms, and she'd said to them that they needed to clean up their rooms because it looked like a bomb's hit it. Now you have to imagine that with an British accent. And she said years down the road, she said her kids would just look at her like she was crazy. And she said years down the road, her son confessed to her that he had actually looked that up in the dictionary because he didn't know what B-O-M-B-Z-I-T, bombzit, B-O-M-Z-I-T-I-T. Didn't know what that was, bombzit it. And so what she was saying was it looked like a bomb has hit it. They'd looked it up in the dictionary trying to figure out what their mother was saying. I thought that was one of the funniest things I'd heard. And I probably just butchered it. Go watch her so you'll know what she really said. Because I'm sure I just butchered what she said. Okay, so I was just soaking up some of the really wet stuff here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put, so this is all sandwiched with papers in between every page. And I can tell that some of the glue is trying to turn loose a little bit. So, you know, it's going to have to regain its structure. And it will probably be a little wonkier than it has been because of this. Or then again, maybe I can just straighten it out. You never know. Okay, so I'm going to put another piece of parchment on the top. And this is dry on the top. I didn't put anything on that. So it's safe for me to put this on. It has some dried paint and stuff. And so I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to put a book on that. And then I'm going to put my weight on that, and I'm going to let it sit for a while. And so it can thicken back up, regain its integrity. Hopefully it's going to come back together. The glue stick has to regain its... The glue stick has to dry back out because I've reactivated the glue stick, even though it was permanent glue stick, and so it's a little questionable at the moment. And then all that paint has to dry. Yeah, I'll be working on it on Friday. I think that's the plan anyway, to work on it on Friday. And then when I do this kind of stuff, I save all these. I save these for a long time until I get too many of them, and then I throw them out. But I'll save all these papers. Especially if I ever intend to do this size book again in this way. So, yeah, my iron, yeah. When my mother was in college, she had to drive, I've forgotten, it wasn't too far, but it was a few miles. She lived with her mother. Her father died when she was a teenager, young teenager. And so she and her mother were very close. So when my mom went to college, she lived in the dorm, I think a semester or something, but she was too homesick, so she had to go back home. And then in the winter, her mother would put a brick, I think it was a brick. Was it a brick or an iron? It was one or the other. It was an iron like this or a brick. I've forgotten which. And she'd wrap it up. She'd put it on the stove, the wood stove, and heat it up. And then she'd wrap it up in towels and stuff and put it on my mom's lap. Like, golly, we have come a long way, haven't we? We've come a long way. All right. So that is it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little while and watching me do probably nothing that you haven't seen before. So anyway, you're going to have to look at me one more day with shaggy hair because I don't get my hair done till Monday. So that's just the way it is. All right. I'll see you guys later. Remember to get creative today because you know it's easy. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye, everybody.